Who is going to win the World Cup? That is the question we ask every 4 years, and it always seems like everyone's got a different answer. So today, with the 2026 FIFA World Cup just around the corner, I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win the World Cup. But before I get to telling you who I think is going to win the World Cup, I'm going to tell you who's going to get through in every single group, how every single round of the playoff bracket's gonna go, and then I'll tell you who's in the final. But before we get started, everyone, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the Zuck TV YouTube channel if you have not yet. Also, ring that bell to be notified of when I post next. And now we could get started with this video. So we start off with Group A, and this is how I think that the bracket will go for Group A. The scores, listen, the scoring in soccer is not hard to predict, but it is hard to predict. So if you do think that one score line is completely way off here, you know, you could tell me about it, but I don't really care. It's just more for the seeding and all that. So this is how I think it's going to go. I do think Mexico does have a good team, and they'll definitely be boosted by their home crowd, but I just think that Korea might be able to best them just based on goal differential. And then looking at the third place side, Czechia I think is a very strong team still in the European side. I do think that this group is pretty good, but I can see Mexico and Korea flipping around. But just for this case right here, I just kind of settled on Korea having the upper hand over Mexico, and that's just based on them playing the other teams, and that's a really small difference. So again, they can flip-flop all they want, but I do believe that those two will be the top two. I think Czechia maybe could slide in, but I kind of doubt that. But I do believe Czechia will be one of the third place finishers, and sorry South Africa, it's just not your group. Who knows, there could be a shocker in there, but I just don't think South Africa can have it, especially with some good teams in this group. Alright, Group B, Canada. My home country's in this one. Listen, Canada is a good roster, but they've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and that could really derail their tournament. I don't want to go too much into that, but this group, a lot of things can happen. There's some times when I've seen Bosnia be top of the group. There's some parts where I've seen Switzerland, I've seen Canada be top of the group. I think the one main consistent here is Qatar. I think Qatar is kind of out of it a bit, so that's why I kind of predicted them here to be number 4. But then when you look at the other games, I think that Canada can come out, beat Bosnia in the opener, and I think they will beat Qatar as well. But when it comes to their game against Switzerland, that's going to be the decider of the group, in my opinion. If everything goes well for Canada, I think they do have a shot at the top of the group. But as you see here with my prediction, I picked Switzerland to be a top, kind of like I did with Group A, just based on goal differential. I think it's pretty close, pretty even. But again, I do not see it, no one's going to really run away with this group. I don't think so, unless injuries, happen to one team. But right now, that's how I have it here. So I have Switzerland top, Canada, and then Bosnia, and then Qatar. All right, now we go to Group C, and I'm just going to get this one out of the way once again. Haiti, welcome to the World Cup. It's great to have you here, but sadly, you are in a very, very tough group. Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. I think they could have a chance maybe against Scotland, but again, I highly doubt it. But when it comes to Brazil and Morocco, those are going to be your top 2 teams of this group, and their game will be the decider again. And like I did here, once again, it's tied on points, but it all comes down to point differential. And for me personally, I think Brazil just has that upper hand. I do think Scotland's a third place team again, so I'm going to slot them in there. But again, Morocco and Brazil can be, 1 or 2. It all just comes down to, and this is one thing I was just kind of thinking about, Morocco. They're a great team. They are a very great team, but was their run in 22 just a fluke? Or was it just, they are a good team? I do think they are, don't get me wrong, and that's why I put them top 2. But again, I'm personally not going to be surprised if Morocco doesn't do well in this tournament or doesn't go far again. Because, a lot of people found that surprising. So I think if that happens, I'm not going to be surprised, but it could shock a lot of people. But for right now, I'm saying that they're number 2 in Group C. And now we go to the final host group. It is Group D, the United States, Turkey, Paraguay, and Australia. Now, a lot of people, I personally voted this, I think, the group of death in my draw reaction video, which a lot of people did not agree with to what I saw online. So overall, I could be a little bit wrong on this one, but I just do think the quality in this group is tighter than what some people say. But I do think Turkey and the United States, as you see the standings boards here, they are the top of this group, but I do think Turkey has the upper hand over the United States and Australia and Paraguay. Paraguay, I mean, I think they can get a draw. I told them that they'll get a draw here against Turkey. I think that's kind of more of a, just a, maybe of a stunner, an upset, if you want to call it that. So, I mean, I think this group could go anywhere. I think the States can also win this group. I think Australia could also win this group. But just with how close-ish the teams are in quality, I do think that this is how it will play out. And I do think, though, Turkey is the best team in that group, so I think they will win Group D. Now we head to Group E, and once again, like Qatar, like Haiti, Curacao, or as Wayne Gretzky calls them, Curaçao, welcome to the World Cup, but sadly your journey will only last 3 games. I don't think they'll have much of a chance against any of these countries who have been to the World Cup before, have World Cup experience, and are quite good teams. I do think that Germany will clear out this group. I think Ecuador is also a very good team, don't get me wrong. There's some people who say Ecuador will go far in this World Cup, but I think with Germany, with just their quality and their star power, I think they'll be able to cruise through this group, and then Ecuador will just come up, just a little bit behind. Although here I have them tied with Cote d'Ivoire, and that's just mostly because they draw each other in my selection here. But I do think that this is how the group will play out. So no major surprises here besides that one draw, but that's just how I see it. I don't think there'll be any shockers here. All right, so Group F, 2 strong teams here to lead off the top 2, Netherlands and Japan. I think that both these teams will finish top 2 in the group. Again, kind of no surprises. The battle just kind of comes down to the 3 and 4. Is it Tunisia? Is it Sweden? I think Sweden has a chance to go through here, but I think I picked Tunisia just because I think, again, they just have a bit more of a World Cup experience squad on their side. I do think it will be close, and like I said here, I even told them that they will draw each other 0-0. So that's how tight I think this will be, but it just comes down to Tunisia and Sweden. I just can't see the Netherlands or Japan really dropping back or falling back and losing out in this group. Who knows? It could be a shocker, but I think that this will come down to the 3 and 4 spot, and for this day I picked Tunisia over Sweden. So now Group G. Now this Belgium team that has been kind of just dying off really slowly over the last I guess 10 years now. Get maybe one of the easiest groups in the World Cup for them. I picked them to just cruise through this. I mean, Iran and Egypt and New Zealand, definitely teams who have been to the World Cup before, but again, when you look at their squads, not as powerful as Belgium at all. So for me, I think Belgium will just kind of cruise through this group. I don't think, massively, but I think they will win all 3 of their matches. And then when it comes down to the other teams, I just don't think New Zealand has it. I think they will go 0-3 in the group. But when it comes to Iran and Egypt, that will be your main battle there. And for today in this group, I picked Iran. I think that they just have a better squad than Egypt. And sorry, Mo Salah, but you're going to have to go to the 3rd place standings. Spain, coming off their European Championship not too long ago, looking to move on and win this World Cup. They will cruise through this group. I think their toughest opponent here will be Uruguay, but again, Uruguay is nothing anywhere close to Spain. So in my opinion, Spain is going to get the clear view here. Saudi Arabia, with their World Cup experience, I do think that they will be able to finish 3rd in their group, especially when they're playing Cabo Verde. I just think that the top 3 spots are already there. I think Cabo Verde slides into that 4th spot pretty easily, just because of their squad talent and all that. So I think that this is how this group will go. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Not much to really talk about here, but the main thing is Spain will cruise through this one. So Group I does have a little bit of a challenger in there that kind of just slid under the rug, and that is Norway. Obviously, Erling Haaland's on that team. That squad can be sneakily good, but especially with the teams that are already in that group, it's going to be tough for them to maybe make a huge impact, but maybe just a little bit of one. Obviously, France, in my opinion, they're top of this group. I don't think there can be anything really that could doubt that, unless they kind of fumble around a little bit. But they are the top group for me. That's why I picked them to go 3-0. Senegal, however, I did pick them to go number 2. But I do think there's a chance that Senegal can possibly fall into that 3rd spot if Norway upsets them here. But again, I just don't think that it will be truly the case. And sorry for Iraq, but I don't think that this will go their way. I think they got 3 good teams that are with them here. They won't win one, but I think the only upset that can possibly happen here is Norway beating Senegal. But again, I just do not see that really happening. But so this is how I see this group going. Pretty straightforward and pretty simple once again. So we got Group J, and once again, it's one of those groups where the top 2 spots I think are already kind of taken, but the battle will come down to 3 and 4. Argentina, obviously the World Cup holders right now, they will cruise to this group in my opinion, right behind or right in front of Austria, who will win their 2 games against Jordan and Algeria, and that's all they'll probably need. Jordan and Algeria, I think, will be a great battle, though. I do have them drawing in their match, which will definitely hurt their chances at going maybe 1 or 2 in this group. But again, their quality, possibly playing against Argentina and Austria, I just don't think are that great. So for me, I kind of see it going this way. And again, Jordan and Algeria, I can't see flopping around, but just for this video, I've picked Jordan to move on and be in the top 3 spot. But as you'll see in probably a bit, Jordan I don't think makes it through in the standings. So it will most likely just be Argentina and Austria moving on in this group. Now we're over to Group K. Portugal and Colombia will be playing for the top spot in this group. Pretty straightforward in my opinion. But again, it's one of those groups like I had earlier where it could flip-flop. I think it could be either or no matter what. But just for right now, based on goal differential, I picked Portugal over Colombia. Uzbekistan too can also maybe challenge some people here. I don't think as big, you know, if Uzbekistan was maybe in a better group, maybe in that Belgium group, they'll get into that top 2 spot. But I just think with the quality of Colombia and Portugal, I think that the 3rd spot is just for them. And Congo, they have a decent team, but again, they're in a group with 3 solid countries, and it's going to be tough for them to even get a shot. They could maybe get a draw in there, but again, I don't think that will do too much. So in my opinion, this is how the group's going to go. The only major thing that could really happen here is Colombia and Portugal switching, but today I have them in this order. All right, Group L, and it feels like once again at a World Cup, England and Croatia are matching up against each other. It just seems like it's like England and San Marino in the qualifiers. They always just play each other, and it feels like at every single tournament, England and Croatia always are like right there when they cross paths. They're either crossing their paths or they're right there. They have the chance to, but they do here in the group stage. And England's quality is still top class, and it will always be top class. And it just matters if they can get the job done. And I do think in this group stage, however, it will work out for them no matter what. Croatia's team is a good, solid team, but they are a veteran-ish team. That, you know, they have some good rising stars coming up. But a lot of their stars, you know, from the, like, you know, look at Luka Modric, a bit on the older side. So, of course, I think England, just with their squad, they will win all 3 of their games. And I think the main thing from this group is Ghana or Panama, who will move on through in that 3rd spot. And I just think Panama, especially being so close to North America, a lot of their fans will come on in, and I think they'll be able to get through with their fan support. I mean, not just that, but of course some other things as well. But I think their fan support here will be massive compared to other World Cups that they have gone to. So for me, I think Panama just gets an extra little boost being close to home. But the main top 2 in this group are England and Croatia, no matter what. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that does it for our group stage predictions. But now we got to see who makes it to the round of 32. Now, obviously, there's that 3rd place standings that comes into play here with the new format that they have for this tournament. These are the 8 countries that will get through based on the standings of the 3rd place teams. Cote d'Ivoire leads the way with Czechia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bosnia, Australia, Norway, and Uzbekistan. They'll get slotted in a certain way based on the groups that they are in. Sadly, however, Panama, Scotland, Tunisia, and Jordan do not make it. So with that, this is what the round of 32 looks like. On one side of the bracket, these are your matchups, and on the other side of the bracket, these are the other matchups. Who gets through for each one? Let's check it out. So looking at the first side of the bracket, Germany versus Australia, I think it's pretty plain and simple here that Germany will get through. I think they just have a much better squad than Australia. And then, well, comes to France and Saudi Arabia. That's just purely France. I think that will be a very, very dominant performance by them. Canada and Mexico. Now, obviously, this might be a little controversial here. A lot of people, maybe some Mexicans, might come at me with this one, but I'm taking Canada, baby. Canada has played well against Mexico in the past. This game, I do believe, will be at like SoFi Stadium in LA. So again, kind of a neutral ground, even though it's closer to Mexico. But I think Canada will win that game. Tell me about it right now. I do not care. It's just my prediction video. I don't care. And then we get to Morocco and Netherlands. This is an upset here, I think, in my opinion. I think some people might also call it an upset as well. I am taking Morocco to beat the Dutch. I know, again, some people might be upset at me for that, but hey, we gotta throw some upsets in there, and I think this one can be classified as an upset. Then Croatia versus Colombia, again, kind of going with what I said in the past about Croatia. I think they have enough to get there, but again, they're going up against a much tougher Colombian team that is pretty hungry for this tournament. So I think that Colombia will get through on that one. Spain and Austria, a good European matchup. It's going to be Spain. I think it'll be a close game, but again, Spain's quality and talent is just all there for them, and I have them moving on. And then Turkey versus Bosnia. This would be a fantastic game. I think this would be a good hack-em game, to be honest with you. But when I talk about quality, Bosnia has good quality, but also Turkey. I'm taking Turkey in that one. And then to round it off, Belgium versus Czechia, another good European matchup, but Belgian quality is just much better than Czechia. It will be a close one, as you see the score, only 1-0, but it will be Belgium to move on. And then when you look at the other side of the round of 32, Brazil versus Japan, a good matchup here, but again, I just think that all the stars that Brazil has on their team, and especially with Ancelotti now as their manager, in my opinion, I think Brazil will be able to get through that one no matter what. Ecuador versus Senegal, a very good close game. I think this will be a fantastic game if this was to happen, but Ecuador, I think, has the quality to just get by Senegal. It will be a sad way to go out for Senegal, but Ecuador, I think, has the quality. Korea versus Cote d'Ivoire, again, another good matchup between two World Cup teams who've been there before, but again, I think Korea just has a bit more talent than Cote d'Ivoire, wins a close one. And then England versus Uzbekistan. This one, again, kind of just all England. Uzbekistan, again, like I've said, they have some good talent on their team, but especially when they're going up against a team like England, that will be very, very tough. And then a big one, this will be fun. Uruguay versus Argentina, two South American countries going at it. I think with just Argentina's skill and talent, and both teams do. I should be stopped saying that because all these teams have really good talent and skill. I just think Argentina has the upper hand. They will win a close one, only 1-0. USA versus Iran. Again, listen, I did not make this on purpose. This will be a lot of political stuff going on with that one. But I think when we're looking at the teams, I think the United States definitely will win that one no matter what. A close one, but I think they will win. And then Switzerland versus Egypt. Again, this is not like obviously a massive matchup here, but I think Switzerland is just the better team here, so that's why I picked them to move on. And then Portugal versus Panama. I think this is pretty straightforward here. Portugal, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo on their side, will win this one and move on to the round of 16. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I think will happen in the round of 16. Yes, we have some really good matchups here, and we're starting off with Germany versus France, a very, very tight matchup, but again, I think the France quality is just a little bit better than Germany. I would prefer maybe Germany, being a Bayern Munich fan, but I think France is just that much better. I think they will move on. Morocco, Canada, sadly, I think this is where the run for Canada ends. Obviously, in the past, when Canada's played Morocco, it did not go well for Canada. I think Morocco just gets enough to get through. I think it's a close game, but I think Morocco gets through to the quarterfinals. Spain versus Colombia, another great game. This will be a fantastic game, but again, Spain, to me, is just a top-class team. I think they just have enough to get past Colombia. They're through. Belgium versus Turkey, maybe not a much desired round of 16 matchup, but there, I think Belgium, again, just has enough. I think there can be an upset there, but it's Belgium in my opinion. It would be hard to not say that it's not Belgium. That moves on there. And then looking at the other side of the bracket, we start with Brazil taking on Ecuador. Again, I spoke about it in just a moment ago. Having Ancelotti on their side and all those stars, I think will work together for Brazil. I think they move on to the quarterfinal. Korea versus England. This will be a great game as well. But again, with England's quality, I think they get by 2-0 pretty easily. Argentina versus the USA. This would be an incredible matchup, but I think this is where the US also end their run. They just don't have the quality to what Argentina has, and I think it just won't work out in this match. I think, again, there can be an upset here. There technically could be, but to me, I just don't see it happening. So I think Argentina will move on to the quarterfinals, and then Switzerland versus Portugal. Another one for Portugal where it's a good game. They're going up against a good team, but they are just a little bit better, and that's how I see it happening there for Portugal. So they will move on to face Argentina in the quarterfinal. This is how I think it will play out. Going back to the other side of the bracket, France versus Morocco. This will be a very, very good game. I just think that, again, France is just so good, and I think they will be able to get by Morocco. That's where Morocco's run ends there. 3-1 match, and then going to Spain and Belgium. Once again, Spain is just a top quality squad. They are just a top quality squad, and sadly, that's where the Belgians run also ends. So for my semi-final on one side, I got France, I got Spain. That's going to be one hell of a game. Then we're going to go to the other side, Brazil versus England. That will be a class game. That will be a A-tier game no matter what. Maybe even S-tier. Who really knows? But England, I think, will get by. I think this could be a game where this is kind of like the game of the bottlers, really. You know, in the past, England has failed to, capitalize and win on anything in the past recent years. And Brazil, at the World Cups, they've also had trouble. But I think England gets it done here with just their overall squad quality. I think Brazil has a chance to win this game, but I think England is my winner there. And then Argentina versus Portugal, Messi versus Ronaldo, maybe the final time we will ever see that happen. I think Argentina gets it done once again. So there's our second semi-final. We have England taking on Argentina. And if you're wondering what I think about those two matchups, this is what I think. Spain and France, as you can see right here. Yeah, I got Spain. Very close game. Once again, it's only 1-0 there. Very close game. But it is Spain. I think their overall quality, I've said it multiple times in this video, is enough to win this tournament. It truly is. It's enough to win this tournament. France also has it too. But I think this is Spain's year once again, coming off the Euro win. They're even better than what they were in the Euros, if you really think about that. So that, to me, is Spain. And then when we go to England versus Argentina, I got the English. Listen, England fans, you can rejoice. You are heading back to a World Cup final. It will be a very close game, as you see the score there, only 3-2. But it will be England taking on the Spaniards in the World Cup final. And so this is how it sets up for the final. We have Spain, we have England, and then in our third place match, we have France, we have Argentina. This will be one heck of a final if it does go this way. But there's only one way to really show this off, is if I do this all at once, just to have a big bang in this video here. So, my winner for the World Cup final is, drumroll please, I got Spain winning the World Cup final 3-2. Maybe there's some penalties in there. I can't really tell that there's a penalty in here or not, but there is your winner. I got Spain, and then even if you want to look at the third place game, France takes Argentina out, and they finish third. But my true winner of the FIFA World Cup here in 2026 is Spain. I just think that their squad is so good. I think if they were to lose somewhere in this tournament, it will be quite an upset depending on who beat them. If it's a lower end country, I will be shocked. If it's a team like England, if it's a team like France, I can understand it. But I just think that their squad is really, really, really good, and it would be really, really hard to lose, to beat Spain. I think anyone in this tournament, it would be really, really hard to beat Spain in this tournament. So that's why I have them as my World Cup winners this year. So there you have it, everyone. Those are my predictions for this year's FIFA World Cup. If you're wondering, though, what my FIFA EAFC thought about the World Cup, though, yeah, don't ever trust a video game simulation to pick your World Cup bracket. That's why I didn't choose this. So that's going to do it, everyone, for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the Zug TV YouTube channel if you have not yet. Also, ring that bell to be notified of when I post next. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the FIFA World Cup. It's a great tournament to watch. If you've never watched a World Cup in your life, you will get hooked on it. You will super enjoy it. Even if you're not a super soccer fan, please tune in, because it happened to me. I never really was a soccer fan, and I became a huge one after watching a couple World Cups now. So please tune in, because you never know what can really happen, and you could also watch a banger of a game. You'll never know when a game will be a banger, so please tune in, because you don't know what you could see in any certain game. It is incredible, and I'm very happy. I'm very excited that it's here in my home country. I sadly am not going to a game, but I'll be cheering on Canada every single game that they are playing in. So I'm so excited for that. But you guys, please enjoy it too. I'll see you guys all around. Peace.